We go through all kinds of crazy stuff as pet sitters and dog walkers, and I have seen a lot in my 8 years. And I've had several of you reach out in the comments asking me to share more of these stories with you guys. So that is exactly what I'm going to start doing every Thursday. You already know that I put out a video every Tuesday helping you to build a successful pet care business. So now on every Thursday, I'm going to start sharing some of my personal stories with you guys. I would love it if you subscribe to the channel to stay up to date with this content and shared your stories down in the comments below. To get us started on this new series, I thought I would start with one of the craziest things that has ever happened to me as a pet sitter. It's the time that a client stalked me and I ended up having to get a restraining order. So let's get into it. So I've been a pet sitter for a couple of years at this point, but I still had a lot to learn. And one day a man called me and said that he needed someone to come over and spend a couple of hours once a week with his dog because he was terrified to leave his dog alone because the dog had recently witnessed someone die. And I said, sign me up. Sounds like a unique situation. I'm all for it. So I show up for the meet and greet, and the first words out of this man's mouth are, yeah, I fired 3 pet sitters in the last month because 2 didn't click with my dog and 1 stole from me. And then he immediately started asking me to do all kinds of crazy stuff for and with his dog. One of the many things, just for example, is I had to wash the dog's feet every 30 minutes, even while we were still outside. And the whole job was to take the dog to a nature trail for 3 hours while he was running errands, so this meant that I had to carry all kinds of stuff to be able to wash the dog's feet while we were still outside on the nature trail. Just all kinds of stuff that made no sense. But anyway, I agreed to do the gig, and we start visits the very next week after the meet and greet. He asked me to arrive at 7 a.m. So that's what I do. I get there at 7 a.m. and he answers the door dripping wet, wearing nothing but a towel. And listen, all I'm going to say is this is not a man that you would want to see in nothing but a towel. Let me just say that. And he tells me to go wait in the living room until he is ready to leave, and then I can leave with the dog, and that is when my 3 hours starts. So of course, we're already at a bad start to this. But I bite my tongue, I put on my customer service hat, and I say I'm gonna make it work. So I go to the nature trail, me and the dog have a great time, we take lots of great photos, it was awesome. I'm back at the guy's house 3 hours later, and he's not there. I'm calling him, I'm texting him, I'm calling him, I'm texting him, no response. The man shows up 5 hours later, which means I had other clients booked after him. So I had to call all of those clients and say, sorry, I'm stuck at another client's house. I'm gonna send someone else from my team to come cover the walks for me. Luckily, I had a team to be able to do that. But anyway, so the guy shows up after 5 hours. I'm standing in the parking lot of his apartment with his dog, and I say, listen, this is unacceptable. I had a great time with your dog, but you agreed for 3 hours. You did not show up on time. I had to cancel on other clients because of this, which meant that I lost money and put them in a bad position. I need you to take this seriously. And this man just blows up. He starts cussing me out, up one side, down the other, telling me I am a trash human being, I'm going to hell, my business is worth nothing, literally just screaming all kinds of insane stuff right in the middle of the parking lot of his apartment complex. It got to the point where his neighbors started coming out onto the balconies to see what he was screaming about. It was insane. So of course, I stood there and I said, I understand what you're saying. I appreciate your business. I had a great time with your dog, but I will never be offering you services ever again. This was it. And I proceeded to get in my car and drive away as he was still standing there screaming. And then over the next 6 hours, he sent me over 100 text messages. Again, just saying, I'm a trash human being, I'm going to hell, just insane stuff. and ended up blocking his number. Then I'm at home asleep in bed at 3 o'clock in the morning. 3 o'clock in the morning, I get a phone call from a different phone number. And of course I don't answer. He leaves a voicemail. It's him calling from a different number. And you know what he says in the voicemail? He says, "I'm sitting outside and it looks like you didn't park in your normal parking spot. I'm wondering why." So this is when I get the restraining order. It was an insane time. It was an insane time. And I learned so much from this experience. One is to pay attention for red flags and to act upon them before it is too late. I should not have ever been in this situation because there were so many red flags from the phone conversation and from the meet and greet, etc. It was my fault for letting it get to this point. And the second big lesson that I learned is to never put your home address on your Google listing. I did not know any better, so I had my home address on my Google business listing. So he was able to show up outside of my house, be waiting for me at 3 o'clock in the morning super easily. Don't put yourself in that situation. Learn from my mistakes. Okay, that is my story from when I got stalked by a client and had to get a restraining order. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Remember, I'm going to be sharing more of my crazy client stories every Thursday, so make sure to subscribe to the channel to stay up to date with that. I'm Doug the Dog Guy from Bad to the Bone Pet Care, reminding you to stay positive.